Hello and welcome to Trial TV Live. I am the Squeegee of Justice. Thank you so much for joining us today as we are very excited to have a... Hello and welcome to Trial TV hold on. Live. My audio works, so that's a good thing. Very excited to have co-host Jules joining us for Stephan Sterns' plea deal. Takes a plea. So let me bring on our good friend Jules. Hello, hello. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing much better now that you're with me because I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do this by myself.
Sure, you could.
Sterns.
Absolutely, you could.
Sternsy
But
Sterns.
but you know how, oh, goodness gracious. I tried to gussy up for you all.
You did. You look
You
great.
know how I was, thank you. Um, how I was so disappointed uh, that I wasn't going to be able to attend his trial. But now I don't feel so bad because there is no trial.
Mm-hmm.
And but I certainly would have loved to have been in the courtroom today just to get a feel of his parents, obviously him. Very curious to know if Jennifer Soto is going to be there, and if she is, will she make a victim impact statement? I mean,
Right.
there's a lot to uh there's just a lot to
Right.
figure out, but Aaron can testify to this. Every step of the way when it came to Stearns, I made a prediction and every single one has happened.
What are some of your predictions? Let's talk about that because we
Well,
have
I
we have a
knew I said all last week and even the week before when his last status hearing was, I
Mhm.
said to Aaron, mark my words, he's gonna plead, he's gonna take a plea. He's
Mhm.
gonna plea out. This is not going to try out. And then boom, we all know what happened.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and
we
another big thing is too, remember in all of his pretrial hearings, Chris, he
mhm.
never showed up. He only showed up to the last few.
Yeah. Yeah. I know he missed the very first one because that was right before Sarah, right? Sarah Boone. He missed that one.
Yeah.
Um, I've only seen him, I think, in two. I think one with the cell phone. He was questioning the cell phone, how they got his cell phone. Um, they just wanted his GPS, but then they found obviously all the pictures and video. So he was contesting that. So we watched that one, and then there was another one on the 14th, which didn't happen. Wait, that was the one that you joined us, and God, that was only like a couple weeks ago. What the heck happened? There was like it was like nothing, right?
Yeah, that was like in and out in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that,
Oh, the
I
felt
think
pens.
I think what happened is, all right, this is pure speculation on my part because I
Mhm.
really don't know for sure.
Mhm.
But I think after Koberger took a plea and he was going to receive the death penalty,
Right.
should he have been found guilty. And look, kudos to Ann Taylor. She threw everything but the kitchen sink at the judge. She really did do her due diligence in trying to defend him. But I think what happened there is finally at the end, because he was going to
Mhm.
start, what, his trial was going to start, I believe it was the 23rd. And she said, Brian, there's too much evidence against you. I don't think we're going to win this.
Mhm.
And she said, because I don't know if people realize this, usually it's the prosecution that goes to the defense and
Mhm.
offer a plea deal.
Right.
That's not what will happen in Kohlberger. She went to the prosecution and asked for a plea deal.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, she did. Now, unfortunately, I think Mr. Thomas totally screwed up that plea deal, but whatever.
Mhm.
But the handwriting was on the table and they knew he was going down. And for all intents and purposes, I think Idaho would have uh, uh, voted for the death penalty. And I think
Mhm.
Stephan Sterns and his attorney had that very same discussion that, you know, this is all the evidence that they have. They have
Mhm.
thousands of the uh, CP stuff. They
Mhm.
have, uh, what is it? 17? Was it 1,700, Chris?
Something
On
like that.
just Madeline alone.
Yeah.
So there's he can't deny it,
Mhm.
and he just can't deny it. So I think that the decision was made
Mhm.
at the 11th hour, um, that he's going to plead guilty, and it's supposed to be guilty for both charges.
Mhm.
So he'll get 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Mhm.
what do you
Now,
think, Chris?
there's the news reports on Friday were saying that there are going to be victim impact statements. So to us, that means, unlike Koberger, the sentencing is going to happen today.
No,
No.
Wednesday.
Okay. No, 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 no. I'm saying
Wednesday.
Stearns. I'm saying like Stearns. So
Oh,
unlike
Stern.
Koberger,
Yes, you said
where he
Kohlberger.
took the
I
plea.
apologize.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So unlike Koberger, where they took the plea, meaning the judge accepted the plea, and then the sentencing is coming later with all the victim impact statements. With Stearns, he's going to put his plea in. Presumably, the judge will accept the plea, and then they're going to have victim impact statements, and then should be a sentencing today, right? How are you
I
reading the
would.
tea leaves?
This is well, we were all talking last night, and I have come to that conclusion that if they're doing, there would be no reason to do impact statements today if he wasn't going to be sentenced today.
Right. Yeah.
Because usually, and we've covered enough of cases that your victim impact statements come day of sentencing.
Hmm.
And the rumors have it that there are victim impact statements today. So that
Hmm.
would mean they would be going straight to sentencing.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
for sure, we know his parents will give a victim impact statement.
Okay.
I want to see if Jennifer Soto steps up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. There's no way, because we were kind of kicking it around, you and I, weeks ago, like, will she testify for the state? Will she testify for the defense? Is she going to get an immunity deal? Um, and now, since that's all, she doesn't have to worry about testifying. And you thought that she would testify for the state, right? Um, so testify against him, in other words. So
Yeah.
now, is that immunity deal off the table? Can they go after her for negligence? Child endangerment. I mean, I'm sure I'm sure there's charges that Mr. J could throw at her now that Stefan is saying he's
Oh
taking a
my
plea.
God. There's a mountain of charges that could be brought against her.
Mm,
And yeah, I think that um, I believe there's no confirmation on this, but I
mm-hmm,
believe that she was given either full immunity or limited immunity to testify against him. And
Mhm.
remember, um, she hasn't been seen or heard from since the day they arrested him.
Right.
She went underground.
Mhm.
Nobody has seen her, heard from her. She was not at any of his pretrial hearings. She just whoo, into the wind. Now that there will not be a trial, could they charge her with child neglect,
Mhm.
child abuse, um, uh, being a party to what he did? Because according to Stephan's mother in the interview I saw with her, she
Mhm.
said these two had no money.
Mhm.
Neither one, I mean, I'm sorry, had no jobs, but
Mhm.
yet had a lot of money. They
Mhm.
were living with his parents, and she couldn't figure out where all this money was coming from, and neither one of them had a job.
Right.
And, and there was all that stuff that even the father found,
Mhm.
and called Northport police, who then called, you know, out in Kissimmee.
Mhm.
There's some hard drives here. Uh, he wanted to turn them over. I
Mhm.
give props to his father. His
Mhm.
mother, not so much.
Yeah.
So I would think. I guess this is wishful thinking on my part. I would think that if his mom, and I'm sure she will, give a victim impact statement, I hope she throws Jennifer Soto under the bus.
Mhm. Yeah. Can they do that in a victim impact statement? Can you say this person, Jen Soto, should be arrested? I mean, can you say that?
She could say whatever she wants. She could say it in a way not like you just said it, but
Mhm.
there's ways that she can say, my son did not do this alone.
Mhm.
She can, for all intents and purposes, uh, do that
Right.
for
I mean,
real.
that would be wild. Can you imagine if there if like it gets to the point of like these finger pointing and like, because what do they have to lose now? They have nothing to lose,
Nothing
right?
to lose.
So they're
And
gonna
I'm so glad we're here for it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So those that are asking, it's scheduled to start at 1:30, which is the bottom of the hour here. It's 1:15 right now in the East Coast. We are in Florida along with Stearns, so it's scheduled to start in about 15 minutes or so. And Ed, you had pulled up a good comment, or you had posted a comment, and I pulled it up, and I just want to get back to that. It's not this one, but you said Koberger was 12 of 12, and here in Florida, it's 8 out of 12 for the DP. So
Correct.
the bar is a lot lower. So,
Very much so. And there's no doubt in my mind that he would not get the death penalty.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And, if people are still asking and they're not understanding about the two separate trials,
Hmm.
doing the SA first and then
Hmm.
in September doing the murder. And the reason for that is, if he should have been found guilty in the SA
Hmm.
and the CP charges, which undoubtedly he would have,
Hmm.
that now becomes an aggravating factor. So
Right.
then when they went into the murder trial, Mr.
Hmm.
J can use that as the aggravating factor for the death penalty. And
Hmm.
like Ed said, it's only eight
Hmm.
out of 12.
Yeah.
Um, and you know how that all came about.
With our legislation, like what the trial that brought
Well,
that up, or
with the Parkland,
oh yes, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. For those that may not be familiar with
yeah,
it.
we had a school. There was a kid who rampaged the school here in
Mhm.
Florida.
Mhm.
And I believe it was 17 victims lost their lives, and an additional 20
Mhm.
were severely wounded. Um, and so he's another one who
Mhm.
at the last minute said he was going to plead guilty because obviously he did it. They had him on camera, everything.
Right.
So they went straight to the penalty phase, and he was up for the the death penalty. And when the
Mhm.
jurors came back, they couldn't decide uh, on the death penalty, so he was
Yep.
sentenced in for life
Mhm.
without parole. And our governor here flipped his mind. I mean, he went nuts over that.
Mhm.
And then he decided, yeah, we're no longer going to do with, unanimous 12 people vote on this.
Right.
And he said 8. If
Mhm.
you have at least 8 that vote yes, it's a done deal.
Yeah. Yep. And they passed it. Legislation
And they,
passed it.
yeah, they passed it.
Yep. Now, Eddie, I saw this. We were watching Grizzly, maybe Saturday, Friday or Saturday. She posted it. There was a guy. Did you see this, Jules? Where this inmate, supposed allegedly inmate, he was all masked up. He was like this, and he was.
Right. He had a white towel
Yep.
across his
Yep. And
face.
he's like,
Yeah.
money out there is that Stearns. Yep. Yeah. So I saw that, Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah. He won't make it. They'll wait a while. It's not going to happen the minute he gets into the state penitentiary.
Right.
Give
Right.
them time. I
Yep.
mean, listen, even his own mother said she would rather him be on death row
Mm-hmm.
because he would be isolated from everyone, which
Mm-hmm.
means he would be safe in her mind. And
Yep.
because it takes so long
Yeah.
to actually bring an execution,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that her and the husband would be dead by before he even is executed. The mother's quoted as saying that.
Yeah, it was in her calls. Yeah, on her
Yeah,
calls, and Grizzly played that one little clip of the phone calls, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd rather be on death row as well."
yeah,
And but Florida has a pretty their average, I think, is like just over 13 years. So I think the national average is around 25 years
yeah.
between uh, conviction and execution. And in Florida, I think I looked it up right before we went on, and it was like 13 point something. So, that's
And
pretty,
they're up there in age.
yeah, that's pretty quick though. I mean, considering, well, he's what, 37 plus
No, he's
yeah,
older than that. He's in his
is he
40s.
in his 40s now? Oh, how okay.
Yeah, he's in his 40s. So just for shits and giggles, let's say the parents were 20 years old when they had him.
Hmm.
So that means that they're probably in their 60s. Add another 13, 15 years on,
Right,
which would put them in their 80s.
right. Uh, I thought I had him as 37. Maybe when he was 37 when it happened, but I can't find exactly how old he is right now. Everybody's
Wow.
just saying 13-year-old Madeline, 13-year-old Madeline. Well, anyway, so yeah, let's just say he's 40 for just unless somebody in chat can confirm for sure.
I'm
Uh,
looking it up right now.
yeah, I'm just having um, just the man accused, the man accused. How old is he now?
Oh, Jesus, I stand corrected. You're right.
So he's 37 now.
Um,
Found it before me. I can't find it for the life of me.
he
Nobody.
was born in 86,
Okay,
96, 96, 06,
39.
16. huh?
40, wait, he was born when? 86?
He, his date of birth is April 25th, 1986.
Okay.
So 96,
So he's
oh
30.
06, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So he's 39 now. He was 37 at the time of his crime.
So he'd be 50. So let's see, in 13 years, he'll be like 52 when he's scheduled. If you go by the national or the Florida average from conviction to um, execution is roughly 13 years. That's the average. So even if it's 20 years, he's going to be 60. He's going to still be, and his parents will be in their 80s, like right, 80. How much older?
Well, if they were in their 20s when they had him, I always use 20 as a starting point. Some
Right.
people had their kids younger, and some had them late in life. But
Sure. His parents seem young. They seem like they're like maybe 25 when they had him, right?
well, that would even put them older.
Well, if he's 50 now, 20 that they'd be 75 now. So yeah, you're right. Another 13
And we
years.
don't know what kind of health, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, I like his father.
Hmm.
I do like his father very much. The mother, not so much.
All right. We're just seeing who has the feed up chat. We know one. We know the national has it, but we want to go with the local because they'll probably have less noise if you get my drift.
I do. I
So
get it.
yeah,
So while you're checking that out, how's everybody in the chat, folks? I'm so glad y'all are here watching.
yeah. So yeah, so yeah, one of the national channels has the feed so far. So we'll let's see. Amber Fox, do you think he's innocent? I can't. Oh, do they think he's innocent
Oh,
and supporting him? His mom, maybe. I don't know. His dad, I don't think so. I think his dad has been on him since the beginning. But his
yes.
mom, maybe.
No, his mother, well, in the initial when this first happened initially, she she was blaming him, but she said that he was that it was Jennifer uh that got him uh watched, got him involved in this.
Mhm.
And I'm not buying that for a minute. I think they both did it.
Yeah.
I don't think she encouraged him. I don't think he encouraged her. I think that this was a joint. I think this was a joint venture.
Well, it seems like Kate is saying, his dad has him all worked out. Mom just doesn't get it at all, right? I mean,
Mm-mm.
from those jail calls, it did seem like Dad's like, "What were you doing? We were, what were you doing out at like 2 o'clock in the morning?" Remember the whole thing with his hotel that he went on. He went from Kissimmee down to uh,
Northport to the
and
storage center.
then back again, right? Um, Yeah, Juju being total denial. Yeah, and just seems like his mom is more on his side, and his dad's like, "What did you do?" kind of thing. So whatever you want to call that, it just seems like his dad was like, "What did you do?" And mom's like, "We'll take care of you. Don't worry, don't worry." Just based on those phone calls. I don't know how she feels now. I don't know.
And the parents got that, they got a room for themselves, and they got a room for him and Jennifer.
Hmm. Yeah. So let's see.
I do believe that initially they couldn't believe that their son was capable, but as more and more evidence came out,
Hmm.
uh, they came to grips with it. I don't think the father outwardly blamed Jennifer, but the mother certainly did.
Yeah. Now, a couple people in the chat have said this. I guess Jen was giving Madeline pregnancy tests, and my 2 cents is saying, I wonder if she was pregnant. What do you think about that?
If she was, we'll never know,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of documents that are sealed because of the fact that she was a minor. And if it had gone to trial, then we would know.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not the judge is going to unseal the sealed documents, I don't know.
Hold on.
But do we really want to know?
Sorry.
Like
Okay.
I'm not quite sure that I want to know.
Yeah. Well, that's again, that's the I'm kind of glad that this isn't going to trial just for Madeline's sake. That's the only reason. I want it to go to trial just to, show the world what a, you know, show the world the evidence and then take it from there. But I'm
Yeah.
also kind of glad just for Madeline's sake that this is not going to trial, because not that we would see it, but the jury would see it,
Mm-hmm.
all those pictures. And that's just, I don't know. I'm kind of glad for her sake that it's not going to trial.
Yes, for her sake.
But
Um,
for on his side, I would like, yeah, I'd like to see him go to trial and see that evidence, as horrific as it is, and be a advocate for her, and be justice for Madeline. But then on the other hand, it's like that's just going to be then that's kind of the last thing we see of her. I just that's just too much. So I kind of have mixed feelings about it. How about you?
um, I agree with you. Actually, I do. I just hope, and I know people are going to think that I'm absolutely nuts when
Mm,
it comes to this, but you know how most people, when their children pass, whether it's through illness or an unspeakable act, they usually will start up a foundation,
mm,
to other victims of crime or whatever the case may be.
mhm.
I hope Jennifer Soto does not do that, because she's not, in my opinion, people could criticize me all they want, but I don't think that she would be a good spokesperson for this type of crime because of the elements of this crime.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Just hold on just one moment, because we're dual streaming. We've got Washington versus Ali. They might be taking a little afternoon break, so I'm going to just stay here, obviously, but I'm just keeping an eye on there just in case I have to do anything, which I don't think I have. And so far, the feed has not kicked in. Oh, here we go. We got a feed. Hold on.
Oh, good. Let's do this.
Hold on, guys. Let's see. Is it this one? Talking head. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Let me. All right, hold on, guys. We got talking heads, and I don't want. All right, here we go. Hold on. I got it. I got it. I got it. Give me a second, guys. Just give me a second. Okay.
we have an online presence named Stephanie. Is that survivor family? An online presence, Stephanie. Also admitting Chris Walker.
Okay, so this is a change of plea in the case of Stephan Sterns. While there's a little quiet in the courtroom here, I wanted to talk to you about what's going on. So there are two separate cases. There's a sexual assault case against 13-year-old Madeline Soto, and then there is a murder, death penalty case, which is projected for later in the year. Let's listen to it.
CF 1293, CF 632. The court has also received an addendum to the plea form. Gordon Smith, do you wish to walk me through the terms of the agreement?
Yes, Judge. In exchange, Mr. Sterns will be entering a plea in the 693 case, the counts 1 through 20, the still be under counsel in all process 21 through 60, centered concurrently with the 1293 case and adjudication of the STD life concurrent, and then additionally.
Thank you. And state as to the addendum. I'm going to ask the folks that have joined us remotely to please mute their microphones. State any special considerations in the addendum to the plea form.
No, Your Honor, we are just incorporating the plea addendum into.
State of Florida filed a notice of intent to seek the penalty of death. That was on June 7th, 2024. Is the state formally going to be withdrawing that notice of intent to seek the penalty of death?
After the acceptance of the plea announcement.
Thank you. Should that announcement be made by the state of Florida, the proposed sentence will be the maximum sentence allowed by law. I'm going to place you under oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to enter into this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I have two plea forms in my hand. One document looks like this. Second document looks like this. They're each plea forms for your respective cases. They each have a signature. That signature is the same on both plea documents. That signature is next to my finger. Can you tell me if that is your signature?
It's hard to tell from here.
Will you provide these forms? Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, it is.
What your signature and a set of initials after each of the 26 paragraphs on each document, those initials being SS, tell me is that you have had an opportunity to read these documents. Do you have any difficulty reading and writing the English language?
I have no difficulty.
And your signature indicates that you are aware of each of the 26 paragraphs and all of the terms and conditions of these two documents. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I have a secondary document. It is an addendum to the plea form. That document is 4 pages long. It appears to have the same initials on the bottom of each of the pages, as well as a signature at the conclusion of the case, along with your attorney, Ms. Borden and Ms. Smith. I'm going to ask the deputies to please provide this document to you, and I'm going to ask you to verify that this is your signature.
Yes, it is.
What your signature on this document tells me is that you have had an opportunity to read this document, go over it with your attorneys, and you understand the 13 additional conditions of your plea agreement. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Each of the plea form goes over what your trial rights would be. In 2024 CF 1293, you are charged with the allegation of first-degree premeditated murder. In 2024 CF 632, you are charged with 60 counts. The first 9 counts being sexual battery with a child 12 to 18 years of age, counts 10 through 13 being sexual battery with a child 12 to 18 years of age, counts 14 through 20 being lewd or lascivious molestation, counts 21 through 60 being unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child, 10 or more images.
Your Honor, counts 1 through 8 are sexual battery on a child under 12.
My apologies. Counts 1 through 8 are capital sexual battery on a child under 12. The plea form contemplates in 2024 CF 1293, 1 count of murder, first degree, capital offense. Plea form on 24 CF 632 contemplates counts 1 through 8, 9 through 13, 14 through 20. With the representation that the state of Florida is withdrawing their notice of intention to seek the penalty of death upon acceptance of this plea, the maximum potential sentence on 24 CF 1293 would be life in prison without possibility of parole. Has the maximum sentence been explained to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in 24 CF 632, counts 1 through 8, the maximum potential sentence would be a mandatory sentence of life in prison without possibility of parole. 9 through 13 would, and 14 through 20 would be first degree felony allegations with a maximum potential sentence of up to life in prison. You understand those maximum potential sentences on that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you have a right to have a jury trial as to each of these allegations? And at the jury trial, the state of Florida would have to prove those allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. At that trial, your attorneys would be with you. They are experienced criminal expert trial attorneys. They would be cross-examining witnesses, examining the evidence against you. You would have a right to present your own witnesses and your own evidence. If you had witnesses that did not want to come to court, you could have asked me to make them come to court with a subpoena. You could have spoke at your trial, or you could have exercised your right to remain silent and not spoken. That would have been your decision after you talked those decisions over with your attorneys, and your jury would have been instructed not to consider your decision to remain silent in any way in rendering a verdict. You would have had a right to have your trial recorded and appeal any errors that occurred in the process. Do you understand you are giving up all of your trial rights if the court accepts this plea? Because I will be imposing the sentence that you have agreed with the state of Florida to be imposed upon you, and we will not be having a trial on any of these matters. Do you understand those things?
I understand.
And Your Honor, just for record purposes, counts 9 through 13 are first-degree felonies punishable by life, as the court indicated. Count 14 through 20 are actually life felonies.
These are life felonies with a minimum mandatory of 25 years. Is life a required sentence, or would that be a punishable by life offense?
It's a life, punishable by life offense. I just wanted the record to be clear. This court indicated first-degree felonies, punishable by life. I just wanted the record to be clear that 14 through 20 are life felonies with 25-year minimum mandatories.
So the plea form indicates that these are first-degree felonies. These are actually either capital offenses or punishable by life offenses. Do you understand that, Mr. Sterns?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone forcing you or pressuring you into make the decision to resolve your case this way?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made you any other promises other than what has been presented to you as the agreed upon sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or mental issues that cause you not to understand the decision that you are making?
I am not.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, that entry of this plea would subject you to deportation proceedings?
Yes.
And if you ever before had been convicted of a sexually violent or a sexually motivated offense, entry of this plea would have subjected you to involuntary civil commitment at the conclusion of any incarcerative sentence. Do you understand that's the state of Florida law?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, do you have any competency concerns regarding Mr. Sterns' fitness to accept this plea agreement? No, Judge. Ms. Borden?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sterns, based on your responses to the court, based on your indicating that you have reviewed this decision with your attorneys, based on your initialing of the plea form and your acknowledgement that you understand all the terms and conditions, rights and obligations on these plea forms, including the addendum, the court is going to make a determination that you are alert, that you have had an opportunity to discuss this with your attorneys, that you are making this decision freely and voluntarily and without coercion. The court accepts your plea. Let me see the attorneys.
Okay, you're hearing a lot of legal terminology right now. The judge just called the attorneys up to the bench. So, and I apologize, as the audio is a little low in the courtroom right now. We can't control that. We're just getting that feed in from the court. We're boosting it as much as possible. But here's what's going on. So Stephan Sterns was projected to have 2 trials this year, one for sexually abusing, many counts of sexual abuse of young 13-year-old Madeline Soto, and before she was 13. And then a trial was scheduled for later in the year that would have been a death penalty capital murder case. So what is happening in this change of plea here is that, you can see our Mike DeForest there in the foreground taking notes, is that he is basically agreeing to plead guilty to many of these counts 60 counts in one case and that first-degree murder charge. And in response, the prosecutors are going to take the death penalty off the table. So what appears to be happening here today is Stephan Sterns is pleading guilty to all the charges in front of them, and he will spend the rest of his life in prison. Now, what does that mean for today? Well, it looks like he could be sentenced. He's expected to, the judge will take the maximum sentence. It will be life without parole.
We might as well let it play, right? Jules, just let him play, let him talk. Wait, I can't hear you.
I'm really, really annoyed with how, number one, how the feed in the courtroom for audio once again is horrible in there.
I
And
know.
also when they panned the gallery, I
Mhm.
looked very closely. I do not see Jennifer Soto in there.
Oh, she may be by the, yeah, I wasn't looking there. Let me look through again.
I was looking closely. She is not in there.
I don't see her either, unless she's on the side of the camera, because there are people sitting by the camera. Maybe she's there.
Yeah, but they would
No.
be on the prosecution side. So it's like
Yeah.
uh
Yeah, she
this
could.
this means, Chris, that I want her charged. I
Yeah.
want her charged.
Yeah. If she doesn't show up,
Yeah,
wow.
this is her daughter.
I
Her
know.
daughter.
I know. Dude, I know. It's like if you can't stand up for your own daughter, then what are you doing?
Yeah,
What are you
yeah.
doing? Yeah. Uh,
Charge her. Just
yeah.
charge her.
Yeah. All right. So they went through, the state formally withdrew the penalty, the DP. Um, he went through all the charges and all maximum are life without parole. And so it will be both for the essay and for the deletion. So we weren't quite
Yeah.
sure. We figured, like from the documents
Yeah.
and the news reporting, we thought it would be both. And sure enough, it is confirmed that it is both.
But I hope Mr. J did something in this plea deal that Mr. Thompson did not do in Kohlberger's plea deal, and that is to make Stephan Sterns stand up and make an allocution and tell the court what he did to Maddie.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Make him put it on the record. This is what I did.
Yes.
Yep, I agree. I agree. Well, we'll see. Let's see if he works it differently.
I don't know. Mr. J was so great in Sarah Boone's trial that I noticed, though, that he doesn't really, even at all of the pretrial hearings, Mr. J did very little talking. He had co-counsel do everything. But I'm sure it was Mr. J that was behind doing the making the plea deal. I cannot believe that he would not put in there that he must stand up and allocute. Every other trial that I've seen that they pled guilty, they stood up there and they allocuted.
So that's standard. So with Kohlberger, that was against standard, not having him.
We were all floored with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think back on plea deals that I've watched, and I quite honestly, I can't think of any right now. Nothing's jumping since last year, since we've been streaming. I don't think we've seen two. Oh, here, we're coming back. Here we go. All right, we'll talk on the other side of the break.
To 24 CF 1293. First degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto. Mr. Sterns, how do you plea to first degree premeditated murder in 24 CF 1293?
No contest.
And as to counts 1 through 8, capital sexual battery of Madeline Soto while she was under the age of 12. Counts 9 through 13, sexual battery of Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18. And counts 14 through 20, lewd or lascivious molestation. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Prior to sentencing, does the state care to offer any victim impact testimony?
Your Honor, the first will be a written statement from Madeline's maternal grandmother. Yolanda Zambrano. Today I stand before you with a broken soul. I am Madeline's grandmother, but to her I was not grandma. Madeline always called me mama. She decided that since she was little. And that's how I felt with her, like a second mother who loved her with all my heart. Madeline was a happy little girl. She loved going shopping with me. That excited her so much that it felt like everything around us turned into color. I remember her face lighting up when we went to the stores, holding hands, laughing together in those moments. We connected, and I felt like she knew she was loved, protected, and valued. At night, we loved to play. It was in those moments, just before bed, that she laughed the most. Sometimes it's hard for me to close my eyes because I still hear her laughter. It was free, sweet, and sincere laugh, a sound I will never forget as long as I live. But that laughter was silenced by a horrific act, the very man who betrayed her trust, her innocence, her body. And if that wasn't enough damage, he took her life. And with her, he killed a piece of our souls. Since then, life has never been the same. Our family is empty and broken. There are days when the pain is so great that I feel like I'm drowning. And every time I think of everything she could have been, everything that was stolen from her, it hurts even more. Because Maddie wasn't just a victim. She was a little girl with a beautiful future, with a unique light, with so much love to give and receive. Today I am here because Maddie can no longer speak, but I can as her grandmother. As someone who loved her with all that I am, I come to ask for justice for her memory, for everything she lived through and should never have lived through. Justice so that no one else has to go through such a horror. I will never forget Maddie, her voice, her laughter, her eyes, her dreams. All of that lives in me, and so it will live forever. My beautiful girl, one day we will be reunited and we will never be separated again. I love you with all my heart. Thank you for listening to me with deep pain and eternal love.
This is a statement from Angelica Negro Guerrero. My name is Angelica Negro Guerrero. I lived with Maddie and Jennifer in the same house for about 2.5 years. Today, I take the liberty of expressing myself not just as a roommate, but as part of the family, as Maddie told me several times. How can I explain how this tragedy has impacted my life? There are so many emotions. I am an immigrant and I have lived in this country for 4 years. I left my country, Venezuela, alone with just a suitcase in my hand in search of a better future. Venezuela has been going through the worst moment in history, run by people blinded by power and money, people who have stolen the future of so many. I've always been against injustice, abuse, corruption, and evil in general. I couldn't picture myself living in a country where I had to witness every single day how a small corrupt group destroyed countless families and the beauty of my nation. And that's exactly why it has been so devastating for me to experience something so tragic, so close to me after coming here with a hope for a better life. I ended up living under the same roof with a man who took a life of a 13-year-old girl, and with that shattered an entire family. What is the point of having dreams, plans, and opportunities if there's no life? if there is so much evil in the world? How can I explain what I felt and how this has affected me, especially considering that this same man took nude photos of my body without my consent, violating my privacy? I felt invaded, outraged, degraded, anguished, and absolutely shattered. I constantly think that my life was in danger too. I could have died. I am also a victim. And the only reason I'm here to write this is because God is great and I know I'm under his protection. This has affected my emotional, physical, and financial stability. I haven't been able to live with strangers ever again. Right now, I rent an apartment by myself. I pay it with all my effort just to feel safe and at peace. If I already had trouble trusting people before, now it's even harder. I can't imagine even handling a neighbor too close because it gives me anxiety. I tried to get psychological help to move forward, but this is something that will forever remain in my memory and continue to affect me deeply. To this day, I wish I could wake up and realize none of this ever happened, that this was just a nightmare. I wish I could still be spending time with Maddie, making her arepas with cheese and butter like she loved, and practicing our languages together. Me learning English and her learning Spanish. I'll never forget the words she always told Jennifer. Mommy, I would love to learn Spanish so I can talk a lot with Angelica. I think about all the time, and I wish it had been me who spoke English fluently back then. Maybe she would have opened up to me about the hell she was going through with that horrible man. I want justice for Madeline and for all the girls and women who have lived through something similar. I want him to pay for all the pain he caused her and the beautiful family I love with all my heart. I send all my love to the sky to Madeline so her soul may find peace. Angelica. This is from Zemina Zambrano, a cousin to Maddie Soto. To the Honorable Court, we write this letter with broken hearts still aching from the devastating loss of our beloved Maddie Soto. The pain of losing her is something no family should ever have to endure. But the nature of her death, the cruelty, the abuse, the inhumanity has inflicted a level of trauma and sorrow that words can scarcely convey. Maddie was more than a victim. She was a daughter, a granddaughter, a cousin, a niece, and a cherished soul in our close-knit and loving family. To know her was to love her. Her spirit, her kindness, and her light remained with us, even though her life was so brutally taken. She was not only murdered, she was discarded like she was nothing, thrown into the wilderness. That image haunts our minds and wounds our hearts every day. Our grief has been compounded by the public scrutiny and the cruelty of strangers who speculate and judge without knowing the depth of our loss or the strength of our bond. We are a large family rooted in love, faith, and mutual support, and this tragedy has shaken us to our core, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Many of us suffer sleepless nights, constant anxiety, and depression. The trauma has left scars that will last a lifetime. We turn to God for comfort, and we trust that divine justice will ultimately be done. But we also place our faith in this court to uphold what is just and right. Maddie deserves that. Our family deserves that. We beg you to consider the profound impact this crime has had, not just on one individual, but on an entire family and community. Please ensure that the individual who committed this horrifying act is held fully accountable. Justice for Maddie cannot bring her back, but it can ensure that her life and her death are not dismissed or dishonored. Let there be no leniency for this cruelty. Let there be no question about the value of her life. Let justice be done. Sincerely, Jimena, please, on behalf of the Zambrano family.
Ma'am, can you tell the court your name?
My name is Leticia Nunez. I was Madeline's aunt.
Can you spell your first and last name for the court report?
Letizia, last name Nunez, Nunez. To Maddie. When I was 7 years old, a beautiful newborn baby was brought into our lives. And I remember being so excited because I was going to be an aunt. You gave me a sense of responsibility from such a young age because I wanted nothing more at that time than to help take care of you, play with you, and overall just make you a happy baby. You're truly missed every single day. I miss your laugh. I miss your smile. I miss your big, beautiful blue eyes. I miss doing the little things like picking you up from school, helping you with your homework, even though we both hated doing that. I just miss you and your presence. But that unfortunately was taken from us. I have so much hatred in my heart, specifically for the creature that's sitting in this room today. And no matter what happens or what justice could be brought, it kills me that it doesn't bring me back. I would give up my life if it meant having you here with us. Even though I was your aunt, you always felt much more like a little sister to me. Doing your hair for the father-daughter dances that my dad would take you to, letting you pick out clothes from my closet, doing your makeup and making sure it was very light because your natural beauty was worth more than any makeup product money could buy. I just miss you every single day, and it's left a hole in my heart from the day you've been gone. Your innocence was taken from you, and since clearly that wasn't enough for a certain someone, so was your life. You were the bravest little girl I've ever met, full of love, light, laughter, and as any positive thing I could think of, you were all of those things. I'm so blessed to have spent 13 years with someone so wonderful, and you're going to live on through all of us. Not because of what happened to you, because that didn't define who you were. I'm going to make sure my future kids know who you are, and make sure my grandkids know who you are, and so on. Today I sit here before everyone, and all I can say is that despite what anyone thinks they know, you were so loved by each and every one of your family members, and I know you left this world knowing that. I know it would pain you to see what people have to say about your loved ones, but what I think of it all is that, and what I'd want you to think up in heaven is that it's all just noise. And I find comfort in the fact that we, your family, know you were beyond loved and beyond cared for. I'm so sorry we found out too late. But despite everything that was happening to you behind closed doors, you still remained one of the happiest human beings I've ever met. Someone who loved us deeply and made us all smile. Trying to find light in this horrible situation is very difficult, but one thing I'm grateful for is that your last day on this earth was everything you wanted and more. You got the birthday you asked for. Your best friends were able to be with you. We cooked the food you specifically asked for, and overall, I have the memory of sitting outside by my pool looking at you and your friends and just thinking, I'm so glad she's having a great time. And look at how grown up she is. How she's blossoming into such an amazing young woman. I could go on forever, but I just want to leave this here by saying I love you so much, and I miss you endlessly. Everything I do from now on, any accomplishments, any decisions I make, anything that happens in my life, I'm going to do it for you and in your honor. I love you, Madeline Soto, and I hope you're resting peacefully now.
Can you tell the court your name and then spell your first and last name for the court reporter?
Natalie Rosero, Nathalie. Thank you, Your Honor, for having me here today. I've known the family for over 15 years. I am best friends with Maddie's aunt and was roommates with Maddie and her mom during the time her life was ended. All of our kids are the same age, so we always try to keep them united and spend as many holidays together. I have years worth of beautiful pictures, birthdays, Christmas, and Easters we all spent together. Those are the moments I try to hold on to as I stand here today. I'm here to express what the past year and a half has been like in my experience. From the moment we found out that Maddie went missing, life has never been the same. Those first 48 hours we set out to look for her, we spread flowers, went knocking on door to door, going to every business down John Young Parkway from Kissimmee to Sand Lake, asking for the public's help. All while seeing my best friend and her family have emotional breakdowns, feeling completely helpless and terrified for Maddie, thinking how could anyone just take her? It turns out we spent almost 3 days looking in the wrong location because Stephan lied to us about where he last saw her. Your Honor, that's the first time in my life I've ever felt true hate for anyone. The following days were filled with more sadness and distraught. We went from searching for a missing person to looking for a body. I had been searching for her as if my son was missing, so it was very difficult to accept that. We spent the rest of the week canvassing St. Cloud until they eventually found her body. Although there was a moment of relief that at least her body was found, that was the last sense of relief I felt since that day. I was confident I had the power of discernment, but I couldn't even see the evil living in the same house. As details of the sexual abuse and her death came to light, you start to question everything. I even questioned my own faith. Having a full night's sleep became a luxury I could not afford. I was too anxious to sleep, constantly wanting to wake up from a nightmare. It wasn't until I started wishing death on him that I realized I needed help. I started going to therapy to try to deal with the grief and anger of losing Maddie the way we did. I also had to navigate my son's emotions as he finds out the cruelty that exists in this world. Holidays are not the same. The void is loud. It's hard to trust people. I am very guarded. I am hoping that when everything here is said and done, there can be some type of closure, even though Maddie's life can never be replaced. That is the only reason I am here today. As decisions are made, please keep in mind that she wasn't even my child, and I feel this way. I cannot imagine the pain, trauma, and deception that Maddie's family has experienced. I do not wish this pain and suffering on any other child or family. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Stephanie online would like to address the board.
We're joined by an online presence. Stephanie, you may unmute your microphone and let the court know how this has affected your family and yourself.
Can you tell the court your first and last name and spell them, please?
I can see that her microphone is still muted.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, hi. I'm sorry. To the court. Maddie brought a light into sorry. Maddie brought a light into my life that I would never be able to describe. With her outgoing personality and her infectious smile, her infectious laugh. She was so kind-hearted, adventurous, and loving. Now that she's gone, everything's changed. The silence where her laughter used to be is deafening. The hole in my heart is bottomless, and the pain is indescribable. My family's life has been shattered. What we've endured and what we will continue to endure for the rest of our lives is a kind of pain that I do not wish on anyone. No family should have to lose a loved one in this horrible manner, especially at such too young. Her life was taken. Her future, I should say, never see her fall in love, get married, or build a future that she deserved. With her. The smile in her.
Appears the
other families as well. It has also impacted her friends, all of those who knew her, as well. Reflection of your evil. The suffering you caused her should be given back to you tenfold. You do not deserve peace. You do not deserve mercy. You deserve to carry the weight of her pain every single day, just how we will carry it for the rest of our lives. And let me be perfectly clear. Where you go after this life will not be where Maddie is. She is in a place of peace surrounded by love. You, on the other hand, will never know peace. You'll never see her again. You're not going where she is going. You're going to hell. Thank you, court.
And Stephanie, can you tell the court your first and last name, please?
Stephanie Soto.
Thank you.
Stephanie Soto. Did you get it? I'm sorry.
Ms. Soto, we can hear you. Thank you for your statement.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Can you tell the court your first and last name and spelling?
Kimberly Vialta. Your Honor, I stand here today to give you a little insight of how loved and how losing Maddie has destroyed my family. Although Maddie was not my blood, I considered her my family. And I loved her like my own niece. Maddie was a kind and bubbly child and was growing up to be the most amazing young lady. She loved arts and crafts, Taylor Swift, and sour gummy candy. I had the honor and privilege of spending many holidays and special occasions with Maddie over the years, and I will cherish those memories forever. I do not have joy or happiness left in me because this monster took that away from us when he killed Maddie. Every day I feel like life is not worth living anymore because such heinous evil exists in this world. There is not a day that goes by where I do not think about all the pain and suffering that Maddie endured. This monster took advantage of her trust and her innocence. This parasite robbed us of every moment we could have had with Maddie. And our lives will never be the same. A life sentence is not punishment enough for what he did to Maddie. However, it gives me comfort to know that he will spend the rest of his miserable life in prison. I hope he lives a long and healthy life so he suffers every single day. Therefore, I ask the court to not take any mercy on this poor excuse of a human when imposing his sentence because he does not deserve it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you let the court know your names?
My name is Tyler Wallace.
Tatiana Wallace.
Tyler, what's your relationship to Madeline Soto?
Madeline Soto was my daughter.
Go ahead.
Madeline Soto was my daughter. She was happiness. She was a joy to be around. She was quirky and intelligent. She was curious. A little forgetful like me too. That happens sometimes, but I just loved her so much. And I was not able to be in her life as much as I would like to, due to circumstances and choices I've made, due to the way finances worked. I was strained in my relationship with my daughter, and that was finally getting better. The last time I saw her was in October of 2023, and she had come to visit for a few days. And when I took her back to the airport, I said, you're turning 13 soon. When you turn 13, you have a choice of which guardian you're interested in staying with. Would you like to stay with me and talk to me? And she said yes, that she would. And so I was this close to having my little girl, sir. Because of the actions of this depraved man, I will never meet the woman she was becoming. And I can't grasp it. I can't grasp the selfishness of you, the deplorability of your actions. You're depraved. You're weak. You're a coward. You're a sneak thief. You crept into a family and took advantage and exploited them when they were weak. It's torn my family apart. It's led to arguments about who can go where and who can get what and who can help who, but we're all on edge because it doesn't heal with time. This isn't like other deaths that I've experienced. This just gets worse. It just gets worse every time I rethink about it and the true horror of what this man visited upon her. And I can only hope that he lives a long time in prison and has those same horrors we visited upon him by his fellow inmates. Thank you.
It has no further witnesses.
Defense, any input prior to sentencing? See if you have additional input.
Can you please tell the court your
Okay,
name?
my name is Leslie Vajalta.
And how are you related to?
I'm a close friend of Maddie's family. Most people only know Maddie as the victim of a heinous crime, but I'd like to talk about Maddie today, and I'd like to share some things that I really loved about her. I loved how fearless Maddie was. She was an amazing swimmer. She was a fast learner. The moment she set her mind to something, she did it. That's how she was about everything. She dove into everything head first, and she was so resilient. She had the most beautiful smile. It lit up her entire life. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, I was so excited to see her, to talk to her about her life. She's so curious. She's so smart. She could sing. She loved to perform for us. I enjoyed watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Bob's Burgers. She even dressed up as Louise one year for Halloween. And I loved her witty, outspoken personality. She's so funny. And that's how I want everyone to leave here thinking about her, remembering her. She lost a lot of privacy towards the end of her life. And I want her to be remembered by her amazing qualities, not the abuse she endured and the exploitation she endured by her abuser. There's not 1 second of my life that I don't think about Maddie. I'll forever celebrate her in my heart and out loud. Maddie was too good for the world, and she did not deserve any of this. Ever since she's been gone, our family, our joy, everything is destroyed. No one smiles anymore. No one laughs. Most days I can't even leave my house. I feel like I can't breathe. And I'm not even her blood relative. I was just so lucky to be a part of life. He took Maddie away from us. He took away her whole childhood. He took away all her potential. that we saw in her, and he took everything from us. And now it's time for him to reap what he sows. This disgusting parasite stole Maddie's youth, her innocence, her life, her joy. He has stolen our sense of safety. I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see his disgusting face. I can imagine what he did to her. I know every detail. I've read everything. I will never bring children into this world because of people like him, depraved, disgusting maggots just like him. He's not the only one. May God forgive him because I definitely do not. I please ask the court to prosecute him to the fullest extent. Show no mercy, exactly how he did Maddie. Justice for Maddie. Thank you.
Okay.
Nothing further.
That's any input prior to
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to thank the State Attorney's Office for sparing Mr. Sterns' life. And we do sincerely hope that this will bring closure and help to start the healing process for Ms. Soto's.
Court has accepted Mr. Sterns' plea of no contest, first degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto, his plea of guilty to 8 counts of sexual battery on Madeline Soto under the age of 12, sexual battery upon Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18, familial custodial role, and lewd or lascivious molestation. Counts 14 through 20. State, you have an announcement as to the notice of intent to seek.
Just in abundance of caution.
Based on the announcement from the state of Florida, the maximum potential sentence in these cases is life in prison without the possibility of parole, as the notice of intent to seek the penalty of death has been waived. Ms. Smith, as to 2024 CF 632, is there a waiver of an entitlement to a pre-sentence investigation? Yes, Judge. Gordon, as to the remaining case 2024 CF 1293, is there a waiver of entitlement to a pre-sentence investigation?
Yes, he is not entitled to a PSI on this.
I'm sorry, guys. This is just terrible. I'm trying to find a better feed. I think that first feed we had was the best. It had closed captioning. I'm going to try and go back to them. So I apologize. Just give me a second. Hopefully we can rewind. All right, let me try here.
You discarded Maddie as if she was nothing.
Anguish and fury.
By her abuser.
Mr. Sterns' life, and we do sincerely hope that this will bring closure and help to start the healing process for Ms. Soto's.
Court has accepted Mr. Sterns' plea of no contest for the first degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto, and his plea of guilty to 8 counts of sexual battery on Madeline Soto under the age of 12, sexual battery upon Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18, in a familial custodial role, and lewd or lascivious molestation. Counts 14 through 20. State, you have an announcement as to the notice of intent to seek the penalty of death.
Your Honor, we will waive the notice of intent to seek death. We will file an electronic null pros for counts 21 through 60. And we are also asking that you inquire about waiving a PSI, just in abundance of caution.
Based on the announcement from the state of Florida, the maximum potential sentence in these cases is life in prison without the possibility of parole, as the notice of intent to seek the penalty of death has been waived. Ms. Smith, as to 2024 CF 632, is there a waiver of an entitlement to a pre-sentence investigation?
Yes, Judge.
Gordon, as to the remaining case 2024 CF 1293, is there a waiver of entitlement to a pre-sentence investigation? If-
Yes, he is not entitled to a PSI on this.
The court has had an opportunity to hear the anguish and the fury of shattered families. Everyone in the gallery has had an opportunity to hear the anguish and the fury of community mourning and permanently diminished. Folks joining us around the state and the country remotely have heard the opportunity to hear the anguish and fury of a meaningful future that was stolen, and a beautiful promise of Madeline Soto's life extinguished permanently. Stephan Sterns, you have had the opportunity to hear that anguish and fury from your actions. As to first-degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto, you are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As to the capital sexual battery of Madeline Soto while she was under the age of 12, for each count you are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For the sexual battery of Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18, you are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For the lewd and lascivious molestation of Madeline Soto, you are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. These sentences will run concurrently, meaning at the same time. The state of Florida has withdrawn their notice of intent to seek the penalty of death. These are the maximum sentences permitted to the court. Each case will have court costs that will be reduced to a civil judgment.
2024 CF 632, court costs are $11,163. As to 24 CF 1293, $666.
Court incorporates the addendum to the plea form as to each plea in 2024 CF 632 and 2024 CF 1293. Not announced. You are adjudicated guilty as to counts 1 through 8, 24 CF 632. State any further sentencing considerations?
Yes, Your Honor. With regards to count 14 through count 20 in 24 CF 632, the court sentenced to life in prison. There is a 25-year minimum mandatory with that as well. The state also provided the court with a score sheet which encompasses counts 9 through 20. It includes penetration and contact points as well. A copy of that has been provided to defense as well in the court. I haven't been made aware of any corrections or additions or subtractions.
Do not have a copy of this.
Should be with the plea form, Your Honor.
It's not. I'm going to need a copy of the score sheet, please. Ms. Smith, Ms. Borden, the total sentence points pursuant to the Criminal Punishment Code score sheet are 1,278 with a lowest permissible prison sentence in months of 937.5 months. That does include sexual penetration points of 80 times 5 and sex contact points of 40 times 7. Any errors, corrections, or omissions to the score sheet? Ms. Smith? Ms. Borden?
No, Your Honor.
25-year minimum mandatory sentence as to the counts requiring a minimum mandatory sentence are imposed. Mr. Stearns, you will have the right to appeal the judgment and sentences of the court. If you wish to do so, you must do so in writing within the next 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. The appeal will be limited to the jurisdiction of the court to impose the sentence. Legality of the sentence itself is a condition of your agreement with the state of Florida. You are agreeing not to appeal the pretrial rulings of the court. State, anything else? Defense, anything else? Thank you. Let's place Mr. Stearns under, he's been previously placed under oath.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to make a brief statement. I agree that it's not fair that Madeline is not here anymore. I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around, a world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before. I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works. I have nothing but sorrow for her loss, and I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well, and she truly was a joy. I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her. And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. I will miss her all the time. I will never not honor her memory. And I apologize for all the pain.
Anything further, defense? Conclude our plea and sentencing hearing. We'll be in recess.
Are they done? Is that it?
Their fingerprint.
So that's it.
It appears so, because remember, that's how they did it in Sarah Boone and Ashley Benefield.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, they got fingerprinted and off they went.
And then that was it. So they're in recess, so there's no point in them coming back.
Oh, he said, see, I couldn't hear that.
Yeah.
If they're in recess.
He said they're in recess.
Then it sounds like they would come back. Usually
Right,
they say court adjourned.
I don't know. This has been so janky. I'm beyond frustrated. I'm beyond frustrated with this whole thing. Can barely hear anybody.
Oh, I have a lot to say. I'm so beyond furious right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll stay. Well, let's see what this talking head says. Maybe he'll
if he says
something
it's over, if he says it's over, then
it's over. Yeah. But I thought I heard him say it's in recess, but I could be wrong.
That's what I thought, and I'm thinking to myself, why is he calling a recess?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it.
That's it.
Oh, maybe a press conference. Well, we'll stay here. We'll hear a press conference at least.
Yeah. In the meantime, while we're waiting for, and here's the thing, I don't think Mr. J is going to say anything, because he didn't say anything after Sarah Boone's.
Yeah.
I mean, I asked him a question and he said no, and then just kept walking.
Right. Outside court. Yeah, it sounds like they're done. So I guess the judge has other cases, right? I mean, obviously this isn't his only one.
No.
So, well, we'll stay here. All right, let's go through what we heard, what we were able to hear. So the state formally withdrew the maximum sentence allowed by law. So there were two plea forms, and Stearns confirmed his signature. And then the judge went through the counts for both SA and the deletion. Jump in anytime you want to just jump in, Jules. Jules, let me know.
No, I'll let you go through that before I have my rant.
All right. All right. It is he understands that this is punishable by life, so he's going to get life without parole, and he's not under the influence, doesn't have any mental disabilities right now. Just keeping an eye out who's coming out. So he pled no contest on first degree M. So that means he's like, it wasn't me, right? There may have been evidence, but I didn't do it. And then he did plead guilty on the others, on the assault. Do you want to jump in? You want to jump in yet?
Well, I admired Mr. J and how he handled everything with Sarah Boone, and I admired him on how he handled this up until now. Mm-hmm. I am so furious that why was he allowed to plead no contacts, mm-hmm. And instead of his statement repulsed me. Yeah. And why did Mr. J not have him allocute to make that statement? And I miss Maddie every day. I hope. What's this? Where I hope she's in heaven.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
He prays she's in heaven and gets to join the choir because she has a beautiful voice.
I mean, that statement was so repulsive, and he should have never been allowed. And if anything, the allocution, they should have forced him to make an allocution. Mm-hmm. And
so no comment.
Yeah, his attorneys came out and
no comment from them.
Yeah, and I don't even know if Mr. J is going to come out or not, because he may have other business in the courthouse. But if he does, he's not going to make a comment.
No. And if he does, it'll be like 3 words. He'll be like,
more like 1, 2. No comment.
Justice for Madeline.
That's or whatever.
That's about it.
And what was the most disturbing thing for me
Mhm.
is that the mother of that child was
Mhm.
not in that courtroom,
Nope.
didn't she wasn't there to speak up for her daughter. Very telling.
Yep.
And
Yep.
not only that, she didn't even like write a letter to give to a family member and say, read this on my behalf. Nothing.
Not a
Jennifer
thing.
Soto did nothing.
Yep.
And so I say she needs to be charged.
Throw the book at her. I
She needs
agree.
to be charged.
Throw the book at her at this point, because yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So we heard from Mr. J read a letter from her Madeline's maternal grandmother. And then there was a letter, then the other attorney, I can't remember her name. Do you recall the other attorney's name? The
I
one
don't
with
remember her
yeah, I don't
name.
remember either. All right. Anyway, so she, okay. So it was a letter from Angelica Guerrero. That was the roommate that Stearns took
That was
nude pictures of her,
yeah,
right?
right.
Then there was the cousins Amina Zambrano. Those were those 2 letters. So that's 3 letters were read. And then live
And
was the
not one from Jennifer Soto.
not one from Jennifer Soto. So then her aunt Nunez came up, Nathalie, who was a roommate as well. Then an online statement from Stephanie Soto. She was kind of hard to hear. Then a woman named Kimberly. I didn't catch her full name. There was a Tyler. There was a Tatiana. Oh, wait, Tatiana didn't talk. Yeah. Oh, Tyler, the dad, right? The dad.
Yeah.
Dad spoke.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm so proud that man came in from Arizona, either Arizona or Texas. I forget. It's
Texas.
one
I
of the,
think
was it
Texas. Yeah.
Texas?
Yeah.
Came in probably at the last minute because this was only announced on Friday.
Yep.
So, that cost him a pretty penny to get a last minute plane ticket to get
Absolutely.
out here. And
Yep.
he spoke up for his daughter.
Yep.
Where was her mother?
Yep. Nowhere to be found. And then Tatiana, maybe they seem to be together. So I don't know if he's gotten
That's
remarried
his
or if that
wife.
was.
That's his wife.
Oh, okay. All right.
The woman that stood up there with him
Yeah.
is his wife.
Okay. I thought her name was Tatiana. I think I got that. Yeah. She didn't speak, but obviously, yeah. Okay. So that's his wife. And then Leslie, who is a friend of the family. So I actually got some good notes from her. She dressed up, Madeline dressed up as Louise from Bob's Burger one Halloween. So she came in with, I want to say, the good, everybody's saying how much they miss her, and rightfully so, of course, and what a monster Stearns is, rightfully so, of course. But I also like that Leslie came in and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to say some really, I'm going to say, let you guys know the other side of Madeline, So, she says, the whole Bob's Burgers thing, she would sit by the pool with her. They would hang out by the pool. But then she does go in to say, I know every detail. I don't want to have children because because of monsters like this. I know every detail of what he did because she's read it. And she said, may God forgive him because I definitely will not. And she said, Judge, don't show any mercy. So.
Well.
Hellcat asks, do we know where Jen is? Yeah, that's the question of the day, Hellcat.
Yeah, she's MIA, Hellcat. MIA.
Yep.
Or she's at her attorney's office and she was listening from her attorney's office.
Yep. Yeah.
Deborah Owens, no, because they gave her, I don't remember which, if it was full immunity or limited immunity to testify against him. Right. So on that note, there was no trial. So she didn't testify against him. So now there would be, so her immunity goes away because the immunity was for her to testify against him. And that didn't happen, folks. So immunity's gone. They most certainly can charge her, especially with the unaliving because there is no statute of limitations on unaliving.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I would definitely be concerned if I was her. So I would assume she's talking to a lawyer right now. If she,
Oh, I'm sure she had one from the get-go.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. And then she's absolutely
Yeah,
talking to
she
them right now.
had to have, because I'll tell you why. With her getting limited immunity or full immunity, like I say, I don't know which, she'd have to have a lawyer to represent her to get that for her.
Right. Who's this? Was that anybody? No.
No.
Right. Yeah. Somebody just trying to get
No,
out.
I just cannot believe. You know what? If I was in her position, which I would never be, okay, this is a hypothetical. If I was in her position, regardless of what the public thinks of me, of what I may have known or may not have known, or what I may have participated in, my ass would have still been in that courtroom today, and I would still speak up to my daughter, and I'd face the public scrutiny.
Yeah. Well, it just shows you where Madeline ranked in Jennifer's heart, mind,
No, Jennifer was here and poor Maddie was down here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She clearly, for whatever her reasons are, she couldn't stand up for her daughter today, which is
because it's guilt.
Yeah.
I don't mean guilt about feeling it's a different type of guilt. She knows darn well what she did and what she allowed. So, and yeah, she couldn't face it.
Yep. So let's see what else. Okay, so defense says hopes this bring. Oh, so a woman on the defense side said, I hope this brings closure and starts the healing process for the family. So then ultimately the court accepted the plea. Now the defense said not entitled to a PSI. What is PSI again? Remind me of that. What is that?
That's when it takes 30 days and they go back and they look at any of his previous convictions on anything. They look back and see what his behavior was in jail.
Here's a dad.
And it's frozen.
Get him where he needs to be, and then I'll come back and talk to you guys, okay? So just hang tight.
I would really love to know what the dad, not only what he's thinking today, but right from the get-go, what he was thinking when it comes to Jennifer Soto. Nope, it's pouring here. Storming here. Chris, you're muted. I think I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Sorry.
now you're fine.
It's been a day. I'm wondering if Tyler, the dad, like when did he start to suspect this? And if he was suspecting it a year or two ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I mean, he would have done something, I would have thought. So maybe he didn't know until.
No, I don't believe he knew. And the minute he was contacted that his daughter was missing, he got on a plane and he came out here.
Now let's see if these guys. Are these guys going to talk? This is like the family members. Doesn't look like it.
No, because you know why? If I was there, I'd be right in their face and say, "Where's Jennifer? Why
Yeah.
wasn't Jennifer here?" They know that those questions would be coming, and they don't want to answer that.
Yep.
What
So
is it with this cameraman showing the lady's legs?
I don't know. Their personalities, they should be okay to have their faces shown. Meanwhile, they're showing everybody else walking in and out of the courtroom or courthouse.
Yeah.
Did you ask permission? Don't you have to ask permission for that? I don't know.
This is the worst cameraman ever.
I'm not sure what they're doing. All right, so we'll continue on with our little. Okay, so so the judge says he's heard the anguish. He's heard the anguish and the fury of the family and the community. Guilty and sentenced to life in prison without parole for all counts. Then Stearns makes a statement. Oh my gosh, he did make a statement. So is it better for him not to make a statement, or is it better for him to make a statement?
I would rather him not make the statement that he made, but I would rather him stand up and to allocute
All right, hold on. Are they going to
and
talk?
tell the court what he did.
Shit. Hang on.
Everything
But
that they had to
that
listen
wasn't
to,
done, so it's
Right.
annoying.
a great deal.
And
So they
again, no sound.
time, but they do want to speak on behalf of Maddie.
You got to turn it up. It's yeah. I don't have control, unfortunately.
I don't either.
But if you guys want to leave me your contact information, we can definitely circle back when they're in a little bit of a better headspace.
Can you tell us if they support this agreement, especially the no contest to the murder charge?
Yes, they're obviously with a trial coming out, and the sex crimes trial was going to be starting on Tuesday. That's a lot of videos. It's their little girl, and I think he recognizes that Stephan Stern is going to die in prison. The death penalty is you die in prison, and he is not getting out ever. And I think that he understands that, and he understands the trade-off in terms of, okay, he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, and my little girl does not have to essentially go through this, and the family go through all of this. And it also takes away all the appeals in terms of, with a death penalty case, the lack of closure that comes with a death penalty case, because the appeals are never ending, essentially. And so this is really, it's a step. Nothing changes the facts. Nothing ever will change the facts, but it's a step for them to get closure.
What do they make of Stern's statement in court, his apology?
An apology? I mean, I can't speak for them. I can tell you that I thought it was disgusting. I did not take that as an apology. I took that as he misses her, for whatever motive or reason he misses her, and I was disgusted by it. But again, I'm not speaking for them when I say that.
The no contest plea. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, he's not necessarily admitting guilt to the murder of Madeline." Does the family feel that others are involved, or if Stearns did this himself and no other people involved?
No, like I said, they're okay with this outcome. However, you get Stephan Stern life in prison without any hope of ever getting out. And I think in his final statements that he made to the court, where he's a former Marine, he understands what life in prison as a sex offender means, and I think he has come to a certain level of peace with that outcome. Everything else is really kind of ticky-tacky in terms of, all right, how does he get there? But the bottom line is he's getting there, and he's never getting out.
When did the family find out about the plea agreement?
It was last week.
Yeah, but did you see the mother in the courtroom today, or did I just miss her?
When you refer to the mother, do you refer to Jennifer Soto?
Yes.
I did not see her in the courtroom.
Did you find that odd at any meetings?
Not for me to say.
Did they expect this plea agreement? Did they know it was something that's coming down the pipeline?
Yes, and I will say the state attorney's office has been wonderful in terms of the communication, in terms of getting their input, in terms of sitting down with them. William J. and Danielle Pinnell, they put their heart and souls into this case. They were there and available for any questions that anybody had. They didn't try to rush anything. They didn't try to force anything. This was very much conversations that took place in terms of what, and again, in a case like this, there's never going to be any like joy or happiness. There's not going to be a resolution where everybody is like, that's great. But it is a matter of, well, what can you live with? And what does it mean for the family? And what does it mean for Maddie, quite honestly, moving forward? Nobody wants to be in a position where, and no offense to you guys, we appreciate you very much, but the media exposure in a child sex case, where that's what's going to be written about for weeks on ends, if not months. And obviously, if you have the ability to have closure without that having to happen, where essentially the same outcome, where he will in fact die in prison. And I think that is what the big picture was, and that was the goal. And I think that was achieved today.
There were a lot of law enforcement officers in the courtroom. Does the family have any thoughts on the case that law enforcement built, especially in those early days?
They're really appreciative. They actually were really overwhelmed with the support, and they really appreciate the fact that, law enforcement, they're there when they're not in a position to help their daughter. Sometimes you have to rely on other people, and they're very appreciative of the work that law enforcement and the prosecution did in this case.
Deborah, speak if you can. Remember the years of being a state prosecutor. Does it make a difference, even though the out cue was the same, that he pled no contest to some things, one guilty to others? Does it make a difference, even though the outcome's the same?
No. It's basically, it doesn't really have any legal significance. And so the fact that he went no contest and guilty, okay, and enjoy life in prison.
What's next for the family?
Well, that's a good question. I don't even think they know the answer to that. I can't imagine how you move on from this. And I think, Tyler said it best in terms of describing his emotions earlier today, where he's like, this type of death is so unique that unfortunately with time, it's actually gotten worse for him mentally, because I think he has more time to think about it and to think about exactly what happened to his little girl. And so it's hard, and it's going to be hard, but they're gonna get through it.
Many of us know you quite well. For those out there that don't, do you mind just saying spelling your name?
Sure. Yeah. I'm sorry. My name's Deborah Barra, Deborah. Last name Barra, B as in boy, Arra.
Thank you. That's one more question. Has Stephan Sterns' parents ever reach out to the family to offer apologies, any type of talk, communication whatsoever?
Not to my knowledge. Yes, thank you guys.
All right, that may be it.
Well, I was right. She wasn't in the courtroom.
All right, that's it. Okay.
So there's that. I was right. She was not in the courtroom.
No.
However, you know me, Chris, because you've seen me in action out there.
Yes.
I would have, when the reporter asked her, was Jennifer Soto in the courtroom, and she had said no, my next very follow-up question would have been, are we going to see her charged down the road?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Hard-hitting questions, as always, from Jules. But that's what we all want to know. That's what we all want to know.
Yeah.
And then why
and
not? And then why not? Will we see charges and then why not? Well, they would probably say we can't talk about that right now. Is it an open investigation or is it, we don't know.
yeah, I mean, I'd have all of those boom, boom, boom lined up. I wouldn't let any of the other reporters speak until I got every one of my questions out.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
I
were,
did it with Mr. Owens,
yeah, yeah,
but he was very gracious to me. He answered all of my questions.
yeah. Yep. All right. Let's see if what we have in, let's see. No contest for M, guilty for SA. Yep. Kate says, oh, because Green Eye Cat, you were coming in, you're way behind. Yeah. Exactly what Kate said. Yep. So YB, he can't appeal the no contest conviction.
According to what she just said, no. But
well, the end result is he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life, right? So instead of being executed in 15, 20 years, he's going to just rot in jail. That's pretty much it.
Here's my question though. Why are the sentences concurrently and not consecutively? That doesn't give me he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life, because concurrent means they're all served at the same time. Consecutive means you serve one term, and when that one's up, then the next one kicks in, and when that one's up, the next one kicks in. So I'm a little perplexed about that, and I'm going to reach out to some of my attorney friends and get some clarification on it.
Right. Yeah, the judge said 30 days for appeal. I guess you can always appeal it. But here's the thing, like I get with that consecutive and concurrent. At the end of the day, whether you have 100 charges or 3 charges, you're still going to jail for life. Right? So
but it did that what you just had up on the screen, that he has 30 days to appeal. In Koberger, he waived his appeals. Oh my God. I cannot believe Mr. J did not have that in there. That he's got to, that he has to waive any and all appeals. Oh man, I don't like this at all. I really don't.
Yeah, this judge, I'm not familiar with him. I don't even know his name, to be quite honest. I'm sorry, I should. I don't know his name, but I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to make of him.
I'm not liking this.
Yeah.
And what is he going to appeal?
What's he going to appeal? He
signed. He didn't go to trial, so he can't. I don't know what he could appeal. Anything.
Let's see. Can you appeal a plea deal? A plea deal. Can you appeal a plea deal? I mean, because generally, yes, you can appeal a plea deal, but the ability to do so is limited. A plea deal typically involves waiving certain rights, including the right to appeal, right? So he didn't have that in there. But there are exceptions where an appeal may still be possible.
On what grounds? There was no trial.
Okay. Despite the general rule, there are situations where an appeal, ineffective assistance of counsel, that's not going to happen.
There was no trial.
Right. Lack of voluntary, because he asked him, are you under the influence of alcohol or drugs? Do you have any kind of mental, whatever, deficiencies, if you will? And he's like, nope, everything's fine. So he can't say ineffectual assistance. He said nobody coerced him. Nobody coerced him. Nobody made him promises. So that's out the window. Lack of voluntariness was not entered voluntarily or knowingly. He covered that. Errors in the plea hearing, mistakes made during the plea hearing itself, like the judge not properly informing the defendant of their rights, could also be grounds for appeal. Then there's that. We'd have to talk to a lawyer about that. New evidence. So
there is no new evidence.
Yeah, that's what's coming up in the old AI land.
No.
So, yeah.
I have to forget about him right now, because right now I'm so furious with Jennifer. Jennifer, I got the hiccups. Sorry, folks, hiccups. I'm
You're
so
so furious that
I'm
you got hiccups.
yeah, I am so angry
Yeah.
that Jennifer Soto didn't even if she didn't want to make a statement, she did not have the decency to sit in that courtroom. This
Yeah.
was about your daughter, Jennifer,
Yeah.
your daughter.
Yeah.
And it tells me, it reinforces my thoughts from way back when the news broke about Maddie being missing and then everything else that followed.
Mm-hmm.
It reinforces me to believe you never loved your daughter. You never put your daughter first. You
No.
didn't put her first, even above your own needs.
Yeah.
You didn't. And you just showed me today that what I have felt about you this whole time is true.
Yep. I agree. She treated her in life poorly, and at least from what we know, I don't know what she did, from the time she was born till 9 or 10, but we know from the time she was 9 or 10, that's when Stephan got his hands on her.
The reports go back to when she was 8 years old.
Okay, so there you go. So from birth to 8
Because
years old.
those photos were time stamped on his phone.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was. I know it was 5 years, right? So that would have been, yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking about something else. So from birth until 8, I don't know how Jennifer treated her, but then from 8 until 13, we know how she was treated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to maybe not talk, show up, but don't talk because maybe it's just you're too distraught. I can kind of get behind that, but to just not even show up, I don't. Did she think people were going
No,
to stone her and
there's
throw
yeah,
tomatoes at her? And
there's no excuse for that behavior, Chris.
yeah,
None.
I know.
And you're right. People would have probably shouted out at her after court and all of that. But you know what? You just stand up to it.
Yeah.
That's all that's to it. You don't have to answer any reporters' questions, nothing. Just walk out of there with your family, get in the car. What I'd like to know is, what has her relationship been since the passing of Maddie with her family?
Right.
Don't you think that may have changed? The dynamics in that family may have changed.
Oh, 100%. I would think so. Absolutely. So those the people that were talking, the aunt and the who was the other Stephanie Soto, online statement from Stephanie Soto. So that was that Jennifer's sister, the woman that was on Zoom or whatever? That
It could have been a sister. It could have been a cousin. I don't know.
yeah. And then we had the aunt. We had the maternal grandmother. So again, that's on Jennifer's side. So have they ostracized Jen? Are they talking? Do they still go to birthday parties? I mean, what is that dynamic? Like
Or
you
have
said.
they alienated her from the family?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's why she didn't show up, because she would have been, well, it's still your daughter. I mean, it's still your daughter. So bring your lawyer, bring your bodyguards, bring your friends, whatever. If she has any friends. I mean, I'm assuming she still has some friends. I don't know. Hey, Kate, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Oh, Angela, you got one. And Jenny G. Oh, we know these people. Alexa Rose. Fantastic. Gail Fisher and Jess. Very good. So let's see. Nanny Goat was saying ostracized. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and here, listen, I'm going to be straight up honest. If I had a friend that had a child and this had happened, And with everything that came out,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have anything to do with her. I
Mhm.
just wouldn't. It's
Mhm.
like, sorry, no. Or I would confront her, like, come on, Jen, you had to have known.
Mhm.
Come on, Jen, why would you send your daughter upstairs to sleep in the same bed? I
No.
would have, yeah, if I
No
had a if
excuse.
I had
Yeah.
a friend that did that, I couldn't. I just
Yeah.
couldn't.
Yeah. Well, Sarah's saying nothing would stop me attending my daughter's killer's hearing and fate. I agree. If you cared, and as Katie says, it's not shocking Jen wasn't there. She's just as guilty. So
Yes.
that's a big if. Sarah, you obviously care. To me, Jen doesn't care.
I don't know.
That's
And did you hear when the grandmother, I think the statement was read. I'm not quite sure. Or did the grandmother get up there and I can't remember now.
no.
But in any case, the
It was read.
grandmother said
Yeah.
from the time she was a baby, she didn't call me grandma. She called me mama. So to me, it sounds like the grandmother took care of Maddie
Mhm.
way more than Jennifer did.
Yeah.
I don't even know why Jennifer had her, to be honest, because
Mhm.
she was not a mother to that
No.
child. She did not mother that child.
Mhm.
Obviously, from what we heard today, the grandmother did most of everything for Maddie, with Maddie.
Mhm.
And then she gets involved with this creep,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
he's stepping in.
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
No, I know.
no.
So this is interesting. Deborah says, if no charges, will Jennifer leave the area?
And she better,
Yeah.
because I don't think people are going to take very kindly.
Yeah. It's not like Kissimmee is a it's not like New York City. There's not many places to it's a
No.
smaller suburb of Orlando,
Or she'll have to change her name.
Yeah, people will recognize her, that's for sure. Let's see. Population of Kissimmee. 81,000. That's as of 2023. And Daytona has 82,000. So that gives you some reference. That's
Yeah,
bigger than I thought.
well, but in reality, it really isn't, considering, you know, in Kissimmee, you have Disney World and you have Universal Studio. You have all of that stuff going on there.
Right.
And there's a billion employees,
True.
for everything. And so they have to live in the area. So I actually think that that's low for Kissimmee.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, she's especially now not showing up. She's definitely not high on people's, list of I'm going to invite you to the next party. Yes, Yala, sentencing is done. So that's it. You got life without parole for everything. No contest on the deletion and all the essay he pled guilty to.
What I did like is when the judge said he will be transferred to the penitentiary immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. They fingerprinted him. And there was a little bit of an interview with a Deborah Barra. She was for the family. And she said she was disgusted by Stearns's speaking. She thought she didn't think that was an apology. She said she was disgusted by what he said.
It was self-serving.
Yeah. So he said he asked God to take him instead, but that's not how things worked out. Her passing has torn him and his family apart. Go figure. He prays she's in heaven and gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. And then at the very end, he apologizes for all of the pain. So, well, let me ask you this.
If he really felt so bad and felt like it should have been him and not her, he had more than enough of opportunity, since he's been sitting in jail all this time, to off himself, and he didn't.
That's true. That's true.
But guess what? I predict in about a year from now,
Mhm.
we're going to hear reports that
Mhm.
he was offed in jail. Especially, and I'm going to say it's going to be. Oh, I got the hiccups again because I'm so upset.
Sorry.
It's going to be another lifer, because a lifer feels, I don't have anything to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you'll be elevated. Well, there was that guy that Grizzly showed that we were talking about at the beginning, that there's money, there's a bounty. He basically has a bounty out. And hey, you give me $1,000 in my commissary, I'll take care of him. I'll take care of him for free. But you give me $1,000, $500. Yeah. I mean, that goes a long way. Because you're right. What are they going to do? Throw another 20 years on somebody's
Yeah,
sentence?
they don't care. These lifers don't care.
Who cares? Yeah. So this is a lot of people, and Jules, you and I were talking about this. Sarah says Stern should not have been allowed to speak. So my question to you guys is, because you were saying, Jules, you were saying with Kohberger, you were mad that he didn't speak, and yet here we're mad that Stearns did speak. So which do you prefer, them to speak or not to speak? And if they do, what do you want them to say?
Well, here's the difference. This is the I would not have wanted Kohberger to stand up and give a self-serving statement the way Stephan did. What I was looking for, which I have seen it in so many trials, where they pled guilty instead of going to trial, and they were made to stand up and allocute. And what that means is they have to tell what they did step by step and why they did it. They have to own it.
If you're going to admit it, then you got to tell us. Yeah, I hear you. Instead of saying, "Oh, she has a beautiful voice. I hope she's in heaven now. I wish God had taken me." Blah blah blah. Yeah,
that was self-serving, Chris. Don't you think that was self-serving?
I do. Yeah, I do. I agree with that. If you're going to admit, if you're going to sign a form that said I did this, then say, okay, I did it, and here's why. Blah. I have a sickness, or I wasn't in my right mind. Whatever it is, whatever your excuse is, whatever it is, I hope that I can take this and make something positive out of it. Whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Knowing Mr. J the way we know him, I actually was convinced that he would have put that in the plea agreement, that he'd have to allocate. And the other thing that no reporter asked that woman is, and we don't know which way this was. In Kohberger, we know it was the defense that went to Mr. Thomas and asked for the plea. We don't know. Did Mr. J go to them and suggest a plea, or did they go to Mr. J? I'm curious to know.
Yeah. Yeah, if he allocutes, everyone is throwing up in court. And Justice Jane, just want to say, yep, let justice ring in the state of Florida for dear Madeline Soto. May she rest in sweet peace. Very well said. And thank you for joining us today, Justice Jane. Yeah, I agree then. Okay, so if you're going to get up and you're going to talk, if you've signed a form and you've admitted to this and you're going to get up and talk, then admit it. Tell us, as gross as it may be and as sick as it may come out, but just bare your soul, and maybe that'll win you a half a point somewhere.
I mean, he could have even addressed it as, when it came to the SA stuff and the CP stuff, he could have said, I have psychological problems. I have, he could have, yes, I did these things This is why I did these things. I've been like this for a long time.
Right.
You know, I'm getting therapy in jail. I mean, I don't know if he is or if he isn't, but you know, if he was, I'm getting therapy in jail, and I have a sickness that drove me to do these things. I
Right.
mean, I could have even accepted that.
Right. Right. Let's see.
Oh, what is that? YB? Do you see YB? I think it says my eyes are
Hold on a
not
second.
good.
YB is definitely somebody. Oh, here. Yep. YB. He's just going to miss. Yeah. Yeah.
100% I agree with that.
Right. All right. We have Mel Stiller wrote a poem back February, which I'm going to read. I think Kate was asking me to if I still have it. So those that know Mel, she's or they are, because I don't know for sure. I'm just assuming. So I'm going to go with they are, just to keep it on that level. A poet. So here's a poem that was written for Madeline. I was too little to understand why he always held me by the hand and pushed it where I couldn't see, where I didn't want my hand to be. I felt so sick inside my tummy, wanted to scream and call my mommy, but he told me to make no sound or he'd throw me onto the ground. I'd cry, but he would just persist and tied a rope around my wrist. He wanted one hand to be free so he could have his way with me. I cried and cried and called my mom. I called and called, but she didn't come. He'd say that she was sound asleep and I'd better not be such a creep. I was so young and didn't know that what he did would hurt me so, yet down the hall my mother slept while my heart sank and my eyes wept. Every time he came by to stay, he'd hurt me more and then he'd play. He'd tell my mom I was the best so she could sleep and get her rest. The years passed and I grew older. He hurt me more, but I got bolder. I told him that I'd had enough, that I knew better and now it was tough. That's when he grew angry and bold. His hands went hard. His eyes were cold. And in no time I lost my breath and breathed my last before my death. I was 13, still just a child, with a girl's dream, not really wild. Plenty of dreams I had in mind, big and small dreams of every kind. But he took all of them away simply because I wouldn't play. The nasty games he saved for me, the games my mother failed to see. Or did she know he was no fool? Under the sheets and in the pool, he did things that I can't remember. Not then, not now, never again. As I remember from those days was the insistence of his ways. He'd smile at me and smooth my hair and made me want to die right there. During the night, while my mom slept, he slithered quietly and I just wept. His touch was like a stabbing pain, a lightning bolt in freezing rain. He looked for me under the covers, told me we were the best lovers. I felt his breath where it shouldn't be, where what he wanted belonged to me. Yet when I told my own mother that I wanted to live with my father, she very quickly let me know that I had nowhere else to go. During the day, my heart would yell that he had left and gone to hell. Teachers and friends would remedy the fear of night that lived in me. I know he hurt me and made me feel that I was nothing without his zeal. He drained my hopes to feed his whim and sold me to men just like him. Now that I'm gone from where he lies, will always drown my mother's cries. I know now that I have the right to sleep alone with God in sight. So that is from Mel Stiller.
Oh my God, that was beautiful.
Yes. So my name is Maddie. This poem deals with an extremely delicate subject, something that most people find very difficult to talk about. I wrote it from the viewpoint of the young victim, Madeline Soto. This piece is not meant to exploit her. Its purpose is to give Maddie a voice and the dignity she did not receive in life. So,
well, Mel Stiller, I can tell that you wrote that from the heart. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that was special. Thank you
It
for
really
sending
was.
that to us. Yeah, thank you for sending that to us. And I think
tried
this is.
very, very hard not to bust out in an ugly cry.
I know. This is we've talked about this before, where a lot of these trials we cover, it's the perpetrator that you remember, and sometimes often you forget the victims. This, I think, is one case where I'll remember the victim. I'll remember
Absolutely.
Madeline Soto forever. I'll never forget her name. And Stearns will just be a afterthought.
I would prefer not to remember Jennifer Soto as well, but I will not be able to do that unless she is charged.
Yeah. It has to be like something has to happen with her, right? I mean, it's got to be like this complete the circle kind of, with this case, because right now it seems like that's a huge hole, and a question
I
mark.
mean, at the very least, Chris,
Mhm.
she should be charged with child neglect and child abuse. I mean, at the very least.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, neglect for sure. Bad parenting, I guess that's child neglect, right? Being a bad parent,
Yeah.
like neglecting your child's
Yeah.
needs.
And child abuse.
Yeah.
She, I feel like the abuse was sending her daughter upstairs with that creature.
Mm-hmm.
That's abuse.
Totally.
Or when the three of them were in her king size bed
Mm-hmm.
and she was in the middle, that's abuse.
Yep. Agreed. And Stearns, they had broken up, right? He wasn't even living in the place anymore, I thought.
Right. And then he showed up again
Yeah.
and, and she was like, oh, okay, da, da, da,
Right. And
and he was not invited to that birthday party either.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed up there because guess why? Jennifer told him to go and bring Maddie home because she was working or doing some sort of training. She wasn't even at her daughter's 13th birthday party.
Right. The
Come
grandmother.
on.
Right. Didn't the grandmother drive?
Yes.
Pick
The
her
grandmother.
up and took her to and fro. Yeah. I guess that's the maternal grandmother, right? That had the letter
That we heard from today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people echo this. I literally cannot imagine choosing a boyfriend over my child. I would die single if it meant protecting my baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Amber. And the kicker was, and I know that Chris has shown the interview with the police. And when the minute Woody Allen came out of her mouth, I flipped out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Why would a mother think that?
Right.
And she admitted that she said it to him. Don't Woody Allen me.
Right.
Who says that?
Right. Somebody who's, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Why? Because I did not know he had taken naked. Yes, he did. He slipped something under the door without her knowing about it and took pictures. And she didn't even find out about this until after what happened to Maddie. And then the police went to her and told her and showed her. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Hold on. Can you imagine getting a call from the police and say, "Oh yeah, we just arrested this person, and there's pictures of you naked on his phone"? I'd be like, "What? What?" Jeez.
Yeah.
I would be mortified. I mean, it just. I'm just shocked, appalled, mortified, whatever you want, whatever the word is. I would just be like, "Are you kidding me?" Oh God.
And I still want to know something obviously happened in the middle of the night with Maddie that he strangled her. What?
Well,
We
he's
don't
saying
know.
he's
We don't
saying that
know.
no, he's saying it's Jen. He says he came in the I think the phone calls or the interview, I forget which. Phone calls with his parents or the interview with the police, I forget which. But he said that he came downstairs and she was blue, and it had happened. There may have been some pills involved. But then
No.
who so he's blaming Jennifer, that she
But
strangled her
we
daughter.
know that that's not true, because
Yeah.
if it really was Jennifer, he'd be singing like a bird, and
Mhm.
he didn't.
Yep.
And lo and behold, taking these pleas.
Yep.
But something happened. Something triggered him to do that. And what
Mhm.
was it? Did poor Maddie finally say no?
Mhm. Or was she gonna talk? Was she pregnant? Did she say, I'm gonna tell my grandmother I've had enough? I mean, you're 13, maybe you're like, "Hey, this isn't right," you know? Yeah, Capri, I remember that. He insinuated medication being at fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we
Well,
go. Yeah, Bill or Sarah,
yeah, no.
accident overdose.
You know that they did the toxicology on her, and,
Oh, I forget, what did they find? I didn't know that actually. What did they find?
it hasn't been released,
Oh,
but it might now.
right.
The judge unseals everything. We have a good. We might have to do a separate show on getting those documents, which I will be hounding that website to see if the
Mhm.
sealed stuff is going to be unsealed. But if they're going to,
Mhm.
if they're putting it out there for free, I'll grab them. But if they're
Mhm.
charging, sorry folks, I don't have that kind of money.
You can, yeah. Yeah, Billy, I agree. You can't wrap your head around the roommates not hearing or seeing anything. Like, how isolated were they? I mean, did everybody sleep upstairs? I guess, right? Except Madeline had like this little 2x2 in the
In the
living
living
room.
room.
Yeah.
The roommate's room was across the hall from where Jennifer would send them upstairs to sleep.
Right. So how did they not? I mean, I don't even want to think about that, but you would think you kind of maybe you'd hear a door open or close or I don't know. Were they nurses? Were the roommates nurses?
I believe so.
Right. Okay.
And one of the roommates had their son living with them too.
Yeah. Sarcasm. I've thought about this as well. I thought that that's not so far off. Hate to say it, but I believe the strangulation was due to erotic strangulation that went too far. I'm not. That has crossed my mind. That has crossed my mind. It went a little too far. That has
That
crossed my mind.
makes me really, because if that's the case, then
Yeah.
that wouldn't have been the first time. That
Mhm.
means he must have done that. And we're speculating, of course.
Yeah.
He would have done that a number of times. That poor
Just
child.
disgusting. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Just disgusting all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Lily Wayne says roommates in room 2 and 3, Stephan in room 4, all upstairs. Yeah. So Sarcasm says, also due to the allegations of Maddie being pregnant, the Emmy released a statement saying she was not. Okay. And you're right, Kate. He never apologized. He never apologized. He said, ask God to take him instead. He said her passing has torn him and his family apart too. He prays she's in heaven, gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. He apologizes for all the pain. He never once said,
I'm sorry.
I'm a sick bastard and I'm sorry. I need help. I need help. I need to get help. He never once said that. And would that have made us feel any better? Probably not, but maybe on some level we'd be like, all right, at least maybe you're taking some accountability, but
Well, as much as I don't want to hear the particulars of what
yeah,
he actually did to her, I
right.
want to hear it because he needed to stand up there and say why. This is what I did, and this is why I did it. And then he could have ended with, he could have turned to the gallery and spoke to the family directly and say, I'm truly sorry for what I did.
Yep.
But none of that happened.
Yep. And I'm going to make the rest of my life about anti-SA. I'm going to do whatever I can do to make sure something, I don't know, something like that,
Yeah, no, you're right.
I'm going to be a spokesperson for children's rights. I'm going to, I don't know, something, but it's a sickness, right? I mean, it's a disease. It's not normal,
No,
I mean,
it's not normal. And in some people, I do believe it is a sickness and a disease. And
mhm,
in other cases, I just feel like it's pure evil. And in
mhm.
his case, I'm going with pure evil.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, what do you think, Jules? You want to wrap it up soon?
Yeah, might as well. I
Yeah.
mean,
Pretty much
I
it.
just wish, yeah, I wish the audio would have been better, but
I know.
again, they were in that same freaking courtroom.
I
So
know. Well, we're
we
going
all
to,
well,
we're going to,
well,
Aaron's going to do what she did before. Hold on a sec. I keep telling you that. That we're going to get the audio. What she did last time was she got the audio and she played with the levels and kind of bumped them up and did that. So maybe we'll do that again, and we can either have a rewatch of it if you want, because it's only like an hour. We could just do another
yeah,
rewatch.
yeah, that would be good on a day that when unexpectedly, like say for Fatima Ali,
Mhm.
there's no court or
Yeah.
whatever that, something comes up and what you were planning on doing isn't gonna, we can do that for
All right.
sure.
All right. So we'll do that. We'll do that for you guys, chat. We'll get the audio better, and then Jules and I will listen to it again, and we can actually hear it, and we can all be disgusted all over again.
And make me angry all over again.
I know. At least we know. At least we know
I
what to
know,
expect.
for sure. And I want to thank everybody in the chat. I know I didn't answer everyone because when I'm focusing on this, I lose focus on the chat. But once again, thank you everyone for giving me such a warm welcome back. Everybody's saying, "Oh, I look so good." I'm not going to lie. This is filtered. I'll own it. It's filtered. But it is what it is. But I'm very glad to be back here on Trial TV Live. And so thank you, everyone. And thank you, Chris and Aaron, for bringing me back.
Aw. Yeah, it's our pleasure, Jules. You are such a great friend. We're so happy that you came into our life, and I'm looking forward to having. We have to figure out some logistics, technology wise, and once we get that sorted out, we're going to have you on many more times.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. And no, I thank God for bringing you and Aaron into my life. And it was just, how do you say it? Happenstance?
Yes,
It
serendipity.
happened.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And we turned out to be the best of friends. And Erin was there. Erin was there for me through my whole illness. I will forever be grateful to her. And when I was having bad days, she listened to me. And Chris, not so much, guys.
No, hey, that's the truth. Not that I didn't want to.
No. Let's
You and
be
Aaron.
honest.
What?
You always sent me a text message.
Yes.
How you feeling?
I did,
Are you
at least
feeling
like once a
okay?
week or so. If I didn't hear from you for a week or two, I'm like, Jules, are you okay?
Yes.
Just
You always have been, the both of you. I love you guys. And
Love you
guess
too,
who's
Jules.
leaving the studio?
Jules out.
Jules out. As soon as I figure out how to get out, how do
I
I
can
get
take you
out?
off. I'll take
Take
you off.
me off.
All right, guys. Thank you. Hey, we're going to do a redirect. We're going to go pick up on Ollie because we missed some stuff there. So Aaron put a redirect on. We'll see you over there in a few minutes. All right. Thank you to our mods. We did a dual stream today, so they were kind of pulling double duty. So it was Aaron, so it was myself. But now thank you to Jules for focusing on this. We'll put together better audio for you, and we'll rewatch this again because, again, it was only we went on a half hour early, and it's only been 3 hours. So it's only like an hour and a half of the actual trial. So we'll put together better audio for you, and we'll do that. And in the meantime, come join me over at Ollie. I'll see you over there in a few minutes. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Mm-hmm.